Welcome back to Mustache Moto. It's Ben. Today we're going to go through part of the 12,000 mile service on the BMW R1250GS and GSA. Specifically, we're going to change out the plug and we're going to check the valve lash on the bike. Now, if you've never done this and you want a super detailed, really detailed video on how to do this and how to change the shims and how to check the valve timing, Box Flyer has amazing videos. I've watched them. I'll list it below. That's about an hour long to watch the 4 videos that go through all of these things. And he also uses really specialized tools that he makes and sells to do some of the things. I'm going to show you how to do the valve check without any special tools, and we're going to do it a lot quicker. So, you can watch his, highly recommend them, but maybe if you're coming back and you just need a real quick refresher, or you want to see some of my tips and tricks on doing it without the special tools, this video is for you. So let's get into it in just a second here. Let's talk about the tools that we're going to need. Got a little flat blade screwdriver. We've got Torx bits, T25, 30, 40, and 50, and also an 8mm Allen. Put it back in here. Got a 14mm socket for the spark plug. You could also use a spark plug wrench for that. We've got ratchet, a couple of extensions. Got our feeler gauge, little magnetic pickup tool for getting that spark plug out if we need it. A dead blow, plastic dead blow, or a rubber mallet, one of those. Put this underneath here. Something to catch the oil in. Of course, I got paper towels. And then I love these. They're disposable, like for under a crib. It's absorbent and plastic. You can get them at the Walmart or at the drugstore, wherever. Use these underneath the bike because there's going to be some oil drip, and this will catch it and just wrap it up and throw it away. So before we get into this, I'm going to hop up and I'm going to put on my chest camera so you can get a better view of what I'm doing. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, first thing we need to do is take off the crash bar here on both sides. And on this one, I have to swing this out of the way to get to one of the torque bolts there. So, four bolts, 1, 2, 3, and then one in there. This peels out and off. Next, we need to remove the spark plug. So we got an electrical connection here. Be real careful with this. You don't want to mess this up. So this pulls up and then pushes back. Push it back. Just work it off. See, pops out. There's a little rubber gasket here that'll come out sometimes, or you can leave it in there. So loosen that wire. All right, you don't need a special tool to get the coil out. What you want to do is just kind of work it back and forth a little bit, a little rotation while you're pulling on it. And it's going to start coming loose. There we go. Spark plug comes out. There we go. All right. Now let's get this underneath. All right, this has 1, 2, 3. 3 nuts we got to take out, 3 Torx, and you want to get those all the way out, and they're captive, so they're going to loosen but not come all the way out. Before we do this, we're going to lose some oil under there. By the way, I've got it on the center stand, of course. Now you want to tap on this while you're pulling it away a little bit. Now what we're going to have to do is get this lined up and get it in the right position. We need top dead center on this side. Top dead center happens twice. Top dead center for, well, it happens once on each side, and that's a full rotation between that of the crank. What we're going to do first is use our 8mm. So we need to open up this inspection port. This is how we're going to see when it's at top dead center. All right, now that we've got the engine opened up on both sides, the spark plugs are out on both sides because we don't want any compression, because we're going to have to rotate the engine to get it at top dead center. Couple of things. Like I said, it's going to be top dead center twice, once for each cylinder, and we got to make sure we're doing it on the right side, the correct side. So if you look right here, there's a laser etched curved side. This is the top upper camshaft. So the curved part at the bottom with the laser engraving on it, that's got to be pointing down. When that's pointing down, that's when this cylinder is going to be at top dead center. But that's not going to be a super precise location. But that's this cylinder. If it's pointing up, the other cylinder is going to be the one at top dead center. So when this is pointing down, the next thing we need to do is be looking in this port for the opening. There's a circular, like a punch, that you're going to see that's going to make it real obvious. And that's got to be lined up in the center of the window. And then you'll be ready to read the feelers. Okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the gear into the bike into sixth gear. The way we're going to do that, you're going to probably have to rotate the wheel a little bit to just keep pulling it up. All right, and move the wheel back and forth to make sure it actually goes into gear. All right, that's going to make it as easy as it could possibly be to spin the engine. It's still going to be hard. Trust me on this. It gets really tight, and then it's going to and it's going to throw that wheel forward. And it's right before it throws it forward that this is going to be at top dead center. And you need really small movements. So you might want to just spin it a couple of times and get used to that feeling of as it comes around. And it's going to take two hands, and it's going to take some muscle. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. We're actually probably just past top dead center right now. So you can hear the engine go. So now we're getting top dead center on the far side. It's getting hard to turn. And then it kind of forces forward, and it forces past top dead center. So you got to push past the really hard part slowly, and then pause. As soon as it starts to get easy, you're going to start working real small increments. Okay, just started to get a little easy, so I'm going to watch in here. But here's the important thing, because we're not using a tool on the actual gears here to turn it. This is where the dead blow comes in. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on the wheel to keep it turning so it wants to turn, and then I'm going to tap the rubber with this and actually get it to spin while I'm watching here, and that'll allow me to get smaller motions. So just kind of tap, 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 tap. That was too fast. Did you see it flash by like that? So we got to go around again. So there's the other side. Okay. Oh, too far. All right. I'm going to get behind it. It's a little easier. All right. All right. That's pointing down. We should be close. Put a little less pressure on it. Just tap. Here it comes. See, we're You start to see, you gotta go real slow. Lighter taps. All right. So you see the circled little cutout there? That's in the middle of the window. The laser at your side is pointing down. We are at top dead center for this side. All right, so even with 4 cameras rolling, I didn't get a good angle showing exactly what I was doing on the back tire to get it to rotate the engine just enough to get it top dead center without going too far. So I was grabbing the tire with my left hand and pulling it forward. This is the way the tire rotates as you're driving. So I'm pulling it forward, and then with the mallet, 1 pound dead blow, or you could use a rubber mallet, I'm tapping forward while I'm putting a little pressure, and you'll be able to see that indicator move closer and closer, but just by millimeters. So doing this, you won't roll it too far. Okay, next we actually have to measure the gaps, measure the lash here. So top is going to be your front and your rear intake cams, and the bottom is going to be your front and your rear exhaust cams. Get yourself a little piece of paper, write down what you're supposed to get, and then a chart so you can keep track of what you actually read. So intake is supposed to be between 0.1 and 0.17 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down through here behind that cam. Let's see. One thing to be careful of, especially with these thin ones, is that you don't have 2 stuck together. Sometimes I've had 2 gauges, feeler gauges together, and I think it's too tight, but it's just the gauge. All right, that was 1.3 or 0.13, 0.15. That's where we're tight. 0.153. All right, so that's between 0.1 and 0.17. Now exhaust from the bottom, that's going to be between 0.34 and 0.41. So let's see, 3.3, 3.5, 4.1. All right. So these, there's a little rubber piece here that slides out. Got to take that out. The grooved section here goes down when you put it back in. Grab a paper towel. All right, so we're going to start from the bottom, right behind. That's good. And wiggle around a little bit to make sure you're at the right angle where it's not binding up. That's pretty easily in. And that's tight. So we are at 0.356. That's perfect. On this side, it goes. That's good. Same, 0.356. We're good, no need to do any adjustments. If you did have to do the adjustments, you got to take about 10 cap bolts out, and you got to remove the cams, lift the followers, pull out the shims, and replace it the right size. Go to Box Flyer, watch his video if you have to do that. But I think you're probably fine, you're good to go, and that all of your valves are in spec. So now, only thing left to do is button it back up, put it all back together. Same thing we did taking it apart, put a new spark plug in. And then remember, when you put these in, you'll feel them get tight, the 3 bolts that hold the head cover on, the valve cover. You're going to feel them, they're going to bottom out. Don't go any tighter, just until they hit bottom. Then the only thing left, put the rest of it back together, check your oil, make sure you got enough in it. We lost, a couple hundred milliliters, so it's probably a little bit low. So I'll top that up, or if you're changing your oil at the same time, obviously you refill it, go for a ride, and then check to make sure you're not leaking anywhere. Now get out there and ride.